Then I lost my father, and I was not able to turn this into anything artistically, like nothing at all.
Yeah.
In the past, I've had like a heartbreak or being pissed at someone, and those are like little things that you can turn into music.
Right.
This was, that's the real deal, and that just left me completely like empty inside. So I didn't transform this into music. And then not a year after that, Joey left us, and I was again like going, "Ugh."
Frederic, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, especially a few days after your birthday. How was the party?
Uh, I shouldn't say that because I turned 47, so technically I'm supposed to be like more, like easygoing and whatnot.
I don't
But
do birthdays anymore.
yeah, no. But like, I really went there, and I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna have like a couple of drinks, and no, it ended up being wild. And yesterday I was dead, and today I'm still, still recovering, but it's okay, it's good.
There you go. Well, I mean, now a beautiful segue to death metal music then. And just jumping back a real quick, because I remember getting the very first like promotional copy of the Taste of Sin, EP that was going to come out in 2016. I think it's been already now. It's been a while. It's been almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And at that time, it was like the collective reaction in the scene was kind of like, you won't believe who's all in this, super group. But when things are labeled a super group, it usually means it's a one-off. It's maybe a project that lives and dies in a studio. And then obviously, I mean, we'll get into that. There's been massive hurdles that you'd have to overcome on this journey. But how important for you now, as you are allowed to, in these interviews, you're forced to reflect and think about all these things. How important for you personally was it that when you started this project all these years ago, that it wasn't going to be just a one-off with all these crazy people involved? Talk me through that.
Yeah, well, it's never been. That's the thing. And funny enough, I was talking to the label again this morning because they changed the little text in what was that, Spotify or like some streaming company,
Yeah.
and it said Supergroup again. I just said, can we just change that, because I don't like it. I've never liked it. The fact is, yes, those are people coming from different bands,
Right.
and those bands are known, so therefore the easiest way to call that is called supergroup. But to me, it's always been a band, just a band. Just I happen to have friends that play music in bands that people know, but it's never. I never thought, because I knew. In fact, I was talking to the manager of Dragonforce at the time, and he was always telling me just like it's not. It's the combination of all the people that make the success of a band. It's not just like that one person. If you go out, it's not just like, oh, he's out of this band, therefore he's gonna get the same success, and it doesn't add up. It's not just like Slipknot plus Dragonforce plus Mayhem blah blah equals like that amount of. No, it doesn't work that way. So, but yeah, in people's head, definitely has a not negative, but kind of negative tone to it. Like supergroup equals just like bored musicians that want to do something on the side. It's fun, and then let's go back to blah blah. Whereas for me, it's always been like I really wanted to do that kind of music, and it took a while to find the right people, and so I already had like Stefan and Sean, and then when Joey jumped on board, it obviously became like a bit more, because he was still with Slipknot at the time.
Right.
Not too long, because he told me that probably I'd say February, March 2013, and he left the band, or he got kicked out in December 2013. So for a brief period of time, he was still in Slipknot. And I guess that made like things like go a bit more serious. Just like, oof, oh, okay, that's Joey. So he's got like a tight schedule, and he's kind of he's a big deal. So like,
Right.
let's go with that. But nevertheless, it's always been very important to me to be able to do that kind of music, to do it with people that I like, and obviously once we got interest and got a record deal and all of that, I was just like, it's definitely not a one-off. It's never been a
Right.
one-off in my head, so but then you need to explain to people, in
Yeah.
several
Yeah.
interviews and to fans, and just like, no, this is not, but no, it's never been the case.
With the army of broken flames, bounds are craven.
You mentioned Joey, obviously. I mean, I don't think anybody watches this interview without knowing somewhat of who you are, who Sinsaenum is, and what role Joey played, and what happened to Joey. You've had to deal with a lot of loss and grief over the last few years, and Joey's part of that. You also shared publicly about your family. To kind of just tackle that, like how much has that, if you look back at how does the band's sound has evolved, and the themes that you deal with, this sound has matured for any other band. Like album 3 is a different beast altogether than the start. How much has that personal grief steered that evolution?
I guess you put everything to a halt at some point, because so first of all, most of or like a good portion of the songs were written before any of that happened. So I was already, I was going in that direction, knowing that I had nothing more to prove. First album is out, second album is out, it's already different. Then we do a world tour, or half the world tour. And then I was busy with got busy with Kreator, Dragonforce, Am I Hero, and I just wanted to write songs. I'm like, okay, we didn't get the success we wanted when we did the tour. Certain places were very good. Some of them were just like, oh, this is not great. So I was just like, okay, there's no pressure to try and
Right.
build something. I'm just gonna. Who cares? I'm just gonna do what I want. Fuck it. So, but not being bitter about it. Just like, I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna make a great album,
Right. Right. Right.
and and that's it. And then I lost my father, and I was not able to turn this into anything artistically, like nothing at all.
Yeah.
In the past, I've had like a heartbreak, or being pissed at someone, and those are like little things that you can turn into music.
Right.
That's the real deal, and that just left me completely like empty inside. So I didn't transform this into music. And then not a year after that, Joey left us, and I was again like going, "Ugh," and
Yeah.
then we talked about it with the rest of the band, and we said, yeah, okay, the album is going to be dedicated to him. And I said, yeah, it will be dedicated to my father too, because I couldn't just like dedicate it to him. To me, it was important that
Right.
my father, I was still grieving, and I still am, and during the process, unfortunately, we lost our light technician, Fred. Also, he died last year. So it was also important to dedicate it to him. Like those are members of my family. Like either it's my father or Joey or Fred. And so once we agreed that the album would be dedicated to him, we would carry on, and I knew that obviously, we carry on. Joey came up with a name, so it's just like it's there somewhere. So you just wanna carry on and make like a great album, which was already like the what I wanted to do before, but now more than ever, there was no
Right.
pressure in time as well, because like everybody knew I'm very busy with the Kreator, so there was no I knew that the new album was going to come out in 2022, the new Kreator album at the time. So I was like, at least for a couple of years, there's no point releasing anything.
Yeah.
So we're just going to take our time. I'm going to do it, however I feel, because I'm the one driving the yeah. I mean the with when I'm feeling it, and grieving, and also being like left and right with Kreator, I wasn't feeling it a lot of time. So it has been done in a in portions and whatnot. And I guess once I was able to get used to the loss, I guess it impacts everything that I do. So I cannot pinpoint like this chord progression is definitely that's someone who's grieving. It's just like it changed me in who I am right now. So I cannot pinpoint. Other than that, I mean, the album, it's dedicated to them, but the whole album is not about grieving, and that's the thing. And it's complicated because you want to dedicate it to them, so it gives that vibe that people are just like, oh, it's a very sad album. It's not. It has like one sad song, and obviously it's death metal, but it's like it's angry, and it's catchy, and straight to the point. Has like a lot of melodies and whatnot. But I guess good or bad, I don't know. But the fact that we are dedicating this album to them gives like a different vibe to it. But I'm okay with that because it is also how I feel. Like it's a different vibe to everything.
And you call it catchy. There's a groove to this album that really jumps out, and it can be like death metal grooves, and it can be like blackened grooves. Like at times, I feel like there was some witchery or satyricon that kind of seeped in. This became a pretty diverse album, and it's hard to pinpoint. To your point, like the essence or what have you. I think last album you said that the mission statement was to have a giant fist going through your skull or something like that. That's somewhat of a direct quote from you a few years ago. This diversity of this album that came about, you stress that this is a band, that this is more of a collaborative effort. It's not just one person's project anymore. Is that one of the reasons that this album turned out to be groovy, catchy, a little bit surprising maybe at times, diverse compared to the previous stuff?
I guess. Well, I mean, I still composed most of it, but like I said, with less limitation in mind, other than just make the best album there is. And obviously, I don't want to use the word using, but just like knowing what people are capable of.
Right.
For example, we've shown, I knew he was like capable of singing with like a clean voice, and I was just like, well, we should definitely go down that road. Let's experiment. Because even if I write, like I said, well, I write all the music, and the lyrics were written like in a collaboration with other people, but I'm always overviewing everything. But I'm always consulting the other guys like very often. I send them, because I'm especially in that state of mind that I was in, like very unsure, and so it's I always consult them, and it's not because they don't write the songs that they don't have a say in everything. So it is like a common effort in that sense, and we've shown, we spent a lot of time. I was still living near Paris, so that must have been, it was 2019. We were like already like, we wanted to have like an album that was it was, at one point we thought it would be like a concept album about like sort of alien civilization and whatnot, and we had like songs. Some of them are still on the album, some of them didn't make it. But he was definitely like trying to to sing more and whatnot, and so I guess, but the previous album, Repulsion for Humanity, I was angry, I was mad. So that was definitely like like a punch in the face. Like I was, and the album was like a green, and like the face greening like this, and the color was like shit, like brown shit. Like I was just like repulsed at people. I was angry, but this one was more like when we started was more just like make the music that we want. We don't have to be angry anymore. We don't have to prove that we know death metal. Because the first album I had to prove. I'm like,
right.
Dragonforce. I'm like, hey guys, I know my shit, But this I was just like, I don't care. And then I joined Kreator. I'm just like, I really don't care. Like I don't have to prove anything. That I know that genre, like the more extreme side of things. And then with the album being dedicated to the one we lost, it was important to make it like very good and diverse, and yeah, make good music for them, so, and for
Yeah,
people,
yeah, yeah,
not just for them.
yeah, for sure, for sure. With joining Kreator, and you say like, oh, now I've kind of like, it's almost like a statement that I do know extreme metal, for people that hadn't listened to Sinsaenum just yet. But does that then also mean that, I mean, obviously with Kreator, you'll never be the person that writes all the music. That's just a fact.
Yeah, yeah.
But being in Kreator, does that mean that you joining Kreator, has that also directly influenced how this album came out more diverse, and that you cared less?
No, 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 no. No, it's not. It's not that I don't care about Sinsaenum at all. I care a lot, and
That's not what I tried to say. I'm sorry. I mean that you have an outlet now also for your extreme side, if you will, with Kreator.
yeah, but it's different. Like, I mean, it's an outlet, but like you said, like, you know, Miller comes with most of the material,
Right.
so it is, you know, it's cool. Like, the outlet in that sense would be for me to, when I take care of like arranging like harmonically like parts, and that's what I do in Kreator. But the you know, the big portion, that's him writing everything. That is very
Yeah,
fine with. So my outlet is just like being on stage and headbanging. So that's not
yeah,
artistically, you know, it's great. Like, it's not incompatible to have that, and also, you know, Sinsaenum is just like I get to write the
yeah,
stuff, and it's also different because Kreator has stepped out of the strict thrash genre. It's like more, you know, anthemic and like
yeah.
closer to heavy metal to a certain extent.
Ever
Whereas
since ever since a certain power metal player joined their ranks, I wonder
yeah,
what happened there.
no, I think that for them it really changed when Violent Revolution came out. I think like it's like the
Yeah.
second, you know, like say Creator
Second
second
era.
part
Yeah.
two, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
second.
yeah.
But so yeah, no, Sinsaenum is like really, and also the fact that I'm with Loud Blast as well. I play with Loud Blast, and so it's also death metal, but it's different. Just like it, you know, it's not incompatible, and it's not. I'm not doing the same thing. But also the fact that being in Loud Blast is a certain type of death metal, probably not probably, but like surely made me also refine exactly what Sinsaenum was about, because there's no point doing the same as Loud Blast. Whereas
Right.
maybe the first album would be closer to Loud Blast, or like traditional death metal.
Hmm.
So I needed to find an angle, and the angle was just like you said, groove, and also the melody that I bring, and the like my like prog jazz influences, touches here and there,
Hmm.
and so I guess it came naturally without me thinking too hard. Just like, my God, what am I going to do now? But I think it's just like I saw the path that was not taken either by Kreator or Loud Blast, or, well, I'm a Hero. That's my other band with a
Yeah.
Japanese guitarist, but that's very melodic, and that's fine. So that's definitely like on the other side. But I guess, yeah, that's probably the fact that I have those paths very defined with Kreator and Loud Blast also allowed me somehow to see clearer where I needed to go with Sinsaenum. I think that's the first time I'm actually saying this, and you're lucky this is for your interview. But I think it does make total sense. Yeah.
Yeah. We said earlier already that all these bands that all the members, including yourself, play in, that comes with a lot of responsibilities and a lot of time. So I fully appreciate how many stars have to align for you guys to be on stage all together. Shows do happen, but you know, what can we keep our fingers crossed for with this cycle?
Well, we are going to do shows in October in Europe, like a small run, because, like you said, you know, I have stuff to do, shows or just like promotion and whatnot. So it's just like a small window of opportunity, which is fine too. I mean, I'm like, you know, as much as I love to play Sinsaenum on stage, I'm away like a lot of time, you know, with Kreator. I need to think about my health as well.
Right.
And I'm not. You've got people that are on the road like all the time, and I don't know how to do that. To me, it's cool. I love it, but also I need a bit of break every now and then. It's a good thing. Like it's a nice balance. I
Yeah.
cannot stay too long at home because then I go crazy. But if I go, like the last 3 years with Kreator, I've been like quite intense in that sense.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I'm not. This is awesome, but then like when I need to take off the creator hat and then I put the Sinsaenum hat, I'm already like So we do that small run in October in Europe, and then January I'm working on something. We're looking at dates, but when we did the tour, the European tour, half the world tour, because we did Europe, Russia, Asia, Australia, for Repulsion for Humanity, and some of them are great, and some of them were not so great, like in terms of
Yeah.
crowd, and I guess that also makes me go like there's no.
There's no
Because
rush.
we've been away for like 7 years. It's already amazing that I'm doing these interviews. It's amazing that people kept listening to us. I keep seeing on the streaming platforms, like, people kept listening, and the reaction for that song is great. So this is cool, but it's very hard to predict when it's time for you to book
Right.
shows, because we had to start booking them earlier this year. There was no song out, no press release, nothing, and you just call people and just like, hey, that's us. We disappeared for 7 years. The shows we did like 7 years ago weren't that great, some of them, and we're looking to find a venue in your area. So people are just like, excuse me. So some of them actually like was very interested, but we
Yeah.
we kept it small, and it's better to be like, oh, okay, like if people want us, then we'll but there's no point trying to, and like I said, it was very difficult. It needs a lot of stars to be aligned, as you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. And you have, I mean, the last 3 years, I said you have been extremely busy. I saw you with Kreator headline the marquee at Grass Pop a few years ago, and then I saw you recently, I think was it early October in Toronto with Testament.
Yeah.
Create. We've got the Kreator movie coming out now as well, a documentary, and I think you didn't necessarily say that, but I will agree if that was your statement that Kreator is like that, fine wine that has aged very well, and I would say that their latest era, whether it's a Mark II or III, depending on the Gothic years there for a little bit in the 90s, is their strongest time. Like Kreator is at the height of its capabilities, it seems now, and its popularity. It must be cool to be part of that, seeing that a band like that is finally kind of getting the respect that it's been due. Like I remember in the 90s growing up and liking thrash, and then in Belgium there's obviously a lot of the German thrash influence, and it was like Sodom, Kreator, Destruction, Tankard, the big Teutonic Four. But at this point it's really Kreator and the other three. And they're all still really cool. I love what Destruction is doing, I love what Sodom is doing, but it's undenying how much Kreator has like taken the step to the next level. To wrap us up, what's that been like for you as somebody that joined this band in this crazy time? That must have been a pretty cool experience so far as well.
It's great. I mean, it's just like you jump on board. I mean, I left Dragonforce because I was not happy with the new direction. New direction / old direction. It was going backwards a little bit to my taste, and I was like, I kept disagreeing with everything they came up with, and we're still friends. We're still great friends, and I'm very grateful for everything, and I wish them success, and I think they have their own success,
Sure.
and it's great. But I was just like, this is not me. This is not what I want to do right now. I'm not. One could argue, they sing about dragons, and we sing about Satan, and it's both can be, but you know what I mean. But that's what I prefer. I prefer horror movies to heroic fantasy, for the lack of better,
Yeah. Satan over dragons. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But so when I got the opportunity with Kreator, I was just like, oh, this is cool, you know. But I always, I, I try not to. So it's not that I try not to. It's just I don't uh, put myself in just like, oh, look at me now. Look at what I'm. This is blah blah. I think this is great, and I'm just like, I'm not taking for granted, but at the same time, I'm just like, I try to keep it like very chill. I'm not like, look at me now, you know. Really, so because it could sound blasé of me to, you know,
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
oh well, you know, it is what it is. But really, I think it's just like it's awesome. We're headlining all those festivals, and the band is famous, and I'm just like, I'm writing it, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. But I I always felt since I wanted to play music, I think you have to be a little crazy in the head to be like, oh yeah, one day I will do that, you know.
right,
And
right.
that's when I started listening to this music, and when I was just like, one day I will be doing this, you know. So to me, it's part of the path, so to say. And I feel like, and it's great and it's awesome, but I'm trying to, it doesn't go to my head. It's just like,
Hmm.
that's what I'm doing. You know, I'm doing that. So I don't know, like I said, I don't want to sound like jaded, but also not, you know, it's not jaded, it's not ungrateful. It's just like,
In the
this is
moment,
yeah,
appreciative.
yeah, exactly, and it's great, and it's I'm happy in that sense,
There
which
you
is
go.
good because there's other part of my life not very happy. So this is good to be happy with this.
Look at that. We went from you felt like death after a massive hangover, and you end with I am happy. And that is a beautiful journey for us to go on this
Yeah.
interview. So, like, I feel like could ask you 10,000 more questions and we could be going for 5 hours, but I want to be super respectful of your time. It's been a loud blast talking to you. Uh, I can't wait to see you on a I know I'll see you many times on a stage, and I hope I will see you with all these different bands on stages. Have the best time releasing this album, and I wish you fantastic shows with Kreator, obviously, as well, but in October with Sinsaenum. That is going to be really, really cool to check out. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Dankjewel. And hope to see you very soon.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.